Hey everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play Bia Zoo. My name is Nissa and I just built this lion right through habitat and I'm so proud of it. So if you want to see how I build it, keep watching. And with fear of repeating myself, I'm just gonna start saying again, I've been battling with the vid the last couple of weeks, almost a month I think at this point. So if my voice is a little bit weird or suddenly changes, then it's because I have some time between recordings. I hope I don't have to take a break because this video is literally supposed to go up in 2.5 hours. So hopefully I can record this in one sitting, but I can't promise you that. So if there's anything weird with the sound, that's why. But I also have good news about the sound quality here on my channel. I've been really motivated here the last 2 months or so, especially because a lot of you are still here, the ones of you who have been here for a while, and we also have a lot of new viewers, listeners. I'm really not sure what to call it because I'm pretty sure some of you guys are only listening to the sound and maybe some of you are only watching the speed build, and both of them is totally okay. Again, I'm making these the way I would like to have them if I should listen and watch. But again, I'm not everyone, so if you prefer something else, I totally understand that. But I will have a new mic soon, and I'm really happy about that. I'm getting it next week, but it probably will take me a little time to figure out how to use it. It also comes with new software and all of that, so I'm not sure how soon I will get to use it for this. But at some point, hopefully there will be some better sound in here. But today we're gonna focus mostly on the lions. I will, however, also, as you can see here, start to build a new building. I'm not gonna build it all today. Basically because it's gonna be a really big building and it's gonna be in sections with a very different animals in here, so I want them all to be here in a good manner. So I gotta build this building in sections as I build the habitat to make sure it works, so I don't have to go back in and move all of the walls later. However, when that's said, the design of it is very basic and it will be the same all around. And it will be this concrete block. We're gonna have the straw loft in here because I feel like the loft is the most the guests are gonna see of it, and especially in here where the guests aren't going to see much of the building itself. So why would the zoo waste a lot of money on a pretty building? The lions really don't care about that kind of stuff. So better focus on the important stuff in here and make a basic building. But as the I won't say clever viewer, but I guess some of you maybe have noticed at this point that I didn't specify which lion in the description or in the name of the video today. And there's honestly a very good reason for that. I've been thinking a lot, especially since I made my bear house for Pinehut Zoo. If you viewed and listened to that video, then you know I talked a lot about the history about zoos, where does the idea about zoos come from, and the not so good part about zoo history, where no one had an idea about how animals function, that they had like brain cells, and they were aware that they weren't where they would like to be. We didn't know to make habitats warm or cold or big or small or simply swimming water. And that was a tough video for me to make, because it's not something either of us like to remember, but I do believe it's important. And with the lions today, I just thought, I did actually think about going in and use one of the lion muds of the Asiatic lion or Northern lion or something like that today, but honestly, it doesn't matter. And that's because lions that have been in captivity for generations aren't Northern lions or Asiatic lions or West African lions. They are just lions, because as we weren't aware of which kind of habitat they would have and size of habitat or all of that, at the same time we also weren't aware of the fact that there was different subspecies, and therefore a lot of animals in zoos today have been interbred with other subspecies of the same animal. Of course, it's not like they accidentally bred wolves with lions or anything like that, but people weren't simply aware. And I also think a lot of places they wasn't really aware of where the animal came from. They would know if they got them from a circus or another zoo or something like that, but where in the world did they come from? Remember that, as I said in my earlier video, it wasn't before after World War II that people actually started studying animals and noticing that some of these animals that previously had millions of them out there in the wild just wasn't there anymore. It's a very new thing in the history of zoos and animals in captivity overall. Remember, it goes back to the ancient Egyptians who had the first animals in captivities, and one of the first more zoo-like zoos out there were in England. Again, for more information, go to my video on the Bear House Pinewood Zoo. But King Henry VIII of England had the zoo in London Tower, where he just had these animals, and they were there for a long time. I don't remember honestly how long it was, but it was like hundreds of years. Henry VIII got the first animal in there, but later there came lions and monkeys, and yeah, you can picture, like, when you were a kid, like, every single animal you asked your parents to get you, all of those animals were there, basically. And they were in the Tower of London. It isn't really a big place. And I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of these gifts were given by royals to royals, so they probably knew which royal family they came from. Like, for instance, the first animal he got was this white bear from Norway, so he had an idea about white bears came from Norway. It isn't that often that polar bears are in Norway and in big parts of Norway. I know Norway is cold, but it isn't like the place you wouldn't think of nowadays compared to polar bears. Again, I assume it was a polar bear. It is also possible that it was a albino other bear, because we basically don't know. I have seen the skeleton, I have seen statues, and for me everything points to polar bear, but it's myself and my knowledge about it. I don't have any specific about it from anywhere. So take that with a grain of salt. But basically, if he had gotten a brown bear of the opposite sex, then he would just have let them interbreed. And I'm also really conflicted with this, because we also at this point around the world have issues where polar bears, because they try to find new places to live, basically because of climate, they are really trying to spread their seas with other kinds of bears. So now you have all these mixed race of bears, and in a way you're gonna have something new that's something completely different. But on the other side, you're gonna lose a lot of subspecies that were there before, and I'm not sure which one is the best. But yeah, very long story to come back to the fact that a lot of the lions in zoos around the world have been there for a while and for generations, because it was one of the animals that we early on stopped catching in the wild. Both because it's difficult to catch a lion compared to other animals. It was also one of the more easy animals to get to breed. As soon as you learn about what they need, food, toys, water, all of these kind of things, then they will breed really healthy and a lot of cubs, so you don't really have to catch them in the wild if you don't want to. On the other hand, then you get these other issues where would you release them to if you were to release them to the wild at some point? For instance, if you have a zoo, you can of course make genetic research in your zoos where you can basically compare the genetics with other animals. But as I mentioned in my video on the northern lion, we also have another issue here, and that is that there are northern lions in, well, it's not north of Africa anymore. They used to live in north. It's more like the middle east, I think, at this point. But they are there. And then there are also a small population of them in India. The Indian northern lion look very much like the Asiatic lion that lives in more of Asia, and are more common than the northern lion. They look very similar to that, but genetically they are very much closer related to the northern lion, and genetically they are almost the same as the population in Africa, and not that close related to the Asiatic lion in Asia that also include lions in India. So therefore, if you make a DNA test on them and they come up with the northern lion, then or are closest to the northern lion, if you can say it that way, then how do you decide if it's in India or in Africa? Of course you can see what they look like, but if they also have DNA from Asiatic lion and northern lion, then it's really hard to tell which features are most prominent, and it's really hard to tell at the same time which example, two white people can have a black baby if a great grandparents or later were black. I'm not talking like a mixed race color. They can actually have a completely black baby. This isn't to be racist at all. It's just to clarify that what you see in a lion aren't exactly what you get in the DNA. All of us get DNA both from mom and dad, and then we will carry both sets of DNA, but you will have like your genotype and your phenotype. Genotype is only the genes you carry, and the phenotype will be the thing that you that people can see on me. For instance, my mom has brown hair and my dad has almost black hair. So I have brown hair, so my genotype will be both, most likely, almost black and brown, but my phenotype will be from my mom, which is the brown hair, the thing you can actually see. Which brings me back to, if we have a lion in captivity, have been bred in captivity for generations, and we can on paper see which country they came from, the forefathers, the DNA tells us this is a northern lion, but the northern lion in Africa looks more like African lion. The northern lion in India looks more like Asiatic lions, and they looks like Asiatic lion most. For instance, is it then because it have most genes from the northern lion in India, or is it because it have genes from the northern lion Africa, but have a forefather with genes from the Asiatic lion just shining through? And this is again one of the things where I can't tell you what the answer is, but I really want to hear your opinion on it. I don't think there's many places around the world where you actually try to release lions in the wild that have been bred so long in captivity. Not sure, but I don't think so. But please tell me in the comment section below what you think about this. If you have an opinion, of course, you don't have to have an opinion about everything, of course. I certainly do. But if you have an opinion, please tell me. Now enjoy the cinematics and I will come back afterwards. Okay guys, that's all I got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope that this tour is something that you may wanted to try if you visited this zoo. And I'm not gonna drag it out, guys. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again, either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye guys!